Well, hello, folks. We've just had another Devstream. Yeah. With a bunch of news. So we're going to go over everything in a moment. First up, I want to let everyone know that immediately following the Devstream, they have put up an alert. This alert is going to be up for 3 days. That's 72 hours. And you have to run a survival mission on Deimos, and you will get a rifle Riven mod. Yeah. So make sure that you go and do that once you've watched this video, because you do not want to miss out on, you know, a free rifle Riven mod. And hey, maybe it's got a challenge. That's something that I've posted like a guide for like how to solve, because I've posted a couple of Riven mod guides. So you know, if you're lucky, we'll find out. Anyway, bunch of news from the Devstream. Most importantly to a lot of people, they are. I told you right when the helmet system came out. First they're gonna do the nerfs, and then they're gonna do the buffs, and it's happening. The buffs are coming. This is just a first wave. There's going to be more stuff later. But they have already started focusing on what Warframes to buff. That will come up a bit later in the video, because I'm just going to cover the news in order. So let's just dive right into it, shall we?
It's our 8-home Devstream, folks. How are you feeling?
I don't know. I feel a bit lighter today for some reason. I don't know. Things are feeling a bit...
Lighter? I know you guys have been working super hard on all things, getting things ready for next gen. The announcement is official. You know, there's lots to look forward to. Steve, what's on your mind about that?
I'm happy to see that it's there, and I'm glad that it's working. And I know a lot of reactions. Elephant in the room, of course, is that your PlayStation 4 account will work. And you won't have to redo stuff. Trophies require you got to do the last task to get your trophy on PS5, which is a bit of a technicality there. It of course brings up the question for, hey, crossplay and cross save. I know we'd keep dodging this question. We don't have any great fabulous reveal or news about that at this time, but certainly your voices are heard, and those voices are growing louder with every minute. Definitely this is high on the list of wants.
Yes, it is.
From you all, and I want to acknowledge that without giving you any additional hope. But
wow, what a great...
But you are heard.
So yeah, first up, small little thing. Warframe is coming to PlayStation 5, which is neat. It's going to get like upgraded graphics and stuff. And like Steve said, cross-save is a priority. They know that it's something that people desperately want, to be able to move their PlayStation 4 accounts up to their new Warframe installation on PlayStation 5. I mean, even if they don't have like a timetable for it yet, that's gonna happen. Don't worry about it, people. They're working on it.
Sometimes we might have a CDN edge near you that needs, I suppose, a gentle tap. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Clean it up.
A plunger.
I don't know. I don't want to know.
That's not a plunger, I guess.
No.
A plunger, yeah.
Nope. All right. So we'll jump right into some changes coming with Glaives. If you played on PC today, you'll notice there was Barrow brought a Glaive mod, and we actually have a workshop that went live just an hour ago. If you are a Glaive aficionado, there's some videos here for you. But essentially, what you should know is that of our 22 classes of melee weapons, Glaives certainly have a special place. As you know, they were first introduced in our 2008 Dark Sector game. Jeff, you'll have to bring up your booklet in a second. But long story short, we are doing a workshop to take some of the enhanced gameplay options with Glaives. So if you want to take a look at this at your own pace, I suggest you join our forums and just, look for our dev workshop. Throw melee inputs can be queued up after one another. So if you are used... Okay, scroll up. If you are used to having to, spam it or not get the fluidity you want, you can now queue them up, which looks incredible. And as you can see, that poor Grineer had no chance, which is too bad for the Grineer, but not really. And then we also will have melee stance combos are now available in Glaive and Gun mode. Sorry, that's loud. But if you are, used to using your stances, you can now have them in your combo mode. So
yeah, some new upgrades to, dual wielding a glaive together with a secondary weapon to make that work better in game. So currently, Barrow is here on PC. He's in the Orcus Relay, and he's actually selling a new stuff here.
Warrior, just back from the void, I presume.
He is selling a new thing just for a thrown melee for the sort of glaive and secondary combo. It gives combo duration, and also when you kill something with your pistol, your secondary weapon, you reset the melee combo timer. So an additional thing right here for increasing like the functionality of glaive and secondary weapon even more. So if that's something that you would like to explore a bit once this update drops, to see if you can like make a glaive and pistol thing work, be sure to log in right now and pick up that new mod from Barrow, because that's gonna be probably pretty useful to make that work.
But we are going to be making some changes to the Steel Path. So first of all, one of the changes coming may have been a little predicted, because we took all the Acolyte mod drops and put them in the Deimos open world content. So what of the Acolytes? Well, the first thing you'll want to know about the Steel Path changes that are coming is the Acolytes are going to spawn in the Steel Path as mini bosses throughout your missions. So what you'll find is the Acolytes are returning as a mini boss threat permanently in the Steel Path, and the way it's going to work is the Steel Essence will drop from them. So if you want your Steel Essence, it's now going to be like a mini boss showcase with these Acolytes that will appear for you throughout the course of your journey. And another thing we're doing is we're going to be adding Steel Path dailies. So if you have your star chart in Steel Path mode, you'll be able to hop into your alerts category and see your Steel Path dailies. So these will also reward Steel Essence. So what that means is if you find yourself currently maybe not being match made enough, so say you're going through at your own pace, you're on Venus, everyone else that's playing is past Venus, whatever it may be, these alerts will be open for you regardless of what nodes you've unlocked. And upon completion, it will unlock the node. So what that means is you say you don't have Tethys unlocked. If you click this node, you'll go to it, and not only will you unlock the node, but anyone else will be match made with you, of course, because matchmaking has been a little not evenly paced. Some people are way ahead. If you're starting your journey, you might be doing it solo, which is pretty difficult. So Steel Path dailies will be available for anyone that has the Steel Path unlocked, and they'll rotate. You'll get about 5 at a time, get your Steel Essence for playing them, and the idea is that you'll be match made with fellow Tenno to make it just more of a co-op experience. But we're also going to be adding a weekly store to Teshin with once per week you can pick up one of Teshin's rarest treasures. So he'll have a rotating store of rare items for you to use your Steel Essence. You know, once you've bought everything in the store, maybe you are full of Steel Essence, what it may be, you can do that weekly turn-in for your Steel Essence to grab some cool new stuff. Riven Slivers are staying as is, so Eximus units will still drop Riven Slivers, but it's just Steel Essence is going to have a new home that's a bit more accessible to the general design of the hard mode. So it'll be more front-faced, and we're going to try and balance it accordingly, so if you have concerns. So it's coming this month. It's coming in November on PC, Deimos Arcana, which will include these Steel Path changes.
All right, so this is absolutely fantastic. I love this. It's going to make going through Steel Path a whole lot more convenient. It's going to make Steel Essence farming a whole lot more convenient. And, normally you kind of want help, but it's hard right now. It's a struggle to make matchmaking work in Steel Path. Because either you've done it all and you're just running your survival mission on Mott and just ignoring the rest of the Steel Path. Or you're sort of struggling to go through it because you can't sort of get help from anyone, so you have to do everything by yourself. And it's a slog. So having a thing here that just helps people do missions together and jumping between different nodes, and you'll have access to all of it, even if you haven't sort of unlocked those nodes yet. It's great, absolutely great. I dig how they have introduced the Acolytes anew again in this way. Now, obviously, since they said that, like, Eximus enemies are still going to be dropping Riven Slivers, I'm going to interpret that as Eximus units will no longer be dropping Steel Essence. So Steel Essence now is something you're going to get from the dailies, and from fighting Acolytes. And that's gonna be it, I guess, right? I don't know. Because that sort of means that, like, oh, you're no longer gonna be running survival on Mott for Steel Essence, right? Because you won't be able to get Steel Essence that way anymore. I don't know. We'll have to look into it a bit closer. I don't know yet if they're gonna remove Steel Essence from Xmas units, but if they are, then the new meta is just gonna be farming the dailies. That's how you're gonna get your Steel Essence. All right. Well, sure. Yeah, whatever. I've never been all that much into like running long survivals on Mott anyway. Not my thing, so I don't mind. There's probably going to be some people who mind if that's going to be the case, but I don't mind.
If you wanted a sort of breakdown details of what Deimos Arcana is, it's going to have Bone Widow, which is our second mech. It's going to have all the Zaku Part 2 changes. There's going to be brand new bounty types. There's going to be infested kit guns that will be either primary or secondary depending on your handle. We'll have 7 new weapons, new arcanes for the aforementioned kit guns, as well as Warframes, and then some augments. So we're going to take a look at all that today. If our obsession with mouths wasn't enough with Helminth, why don't we take a look at...
No, we're showing this.
It's just a little video, so you can take a look. If you can figure out the puzzle, or if you can coordinate with your teammates, this giant mouth in the underground of, Deimos, perhaps you can imagine a couple ways to solve this puzzle. Depending on how far you get in your journey underground, you may find yourself faced with this disgusting entity.
It's just the big mouth.
It's just the mouth, that's it. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to the stream. It's just
PlayStation 6 could have like a smell of it.
Yeah.
I could smell that video. It reeked.
Yeah, it was a stinky video. So now we're going to take a look at Bone Widow. She has a pretty... Oopsies. Don't mind me. Just giving myself some XP. As you can see, her shield is ready to go. So her second ability allows you to equip the shield outright. And her fourth ability is her Exalted Melee, Kalim. So with these two in combination, you can kind of go a little crazy with your protective abilities, swing your sword, kill some infested fools. And of course, the Exalted Melee. And the Ooh! Don't look! Don't look!
Oh.
Don't look! I blame myself for that one.
Oh, I just love Rebecca Ford falling through the world on Deimos. Anyway, that looks cool. New weapons is fun. New Necromech is fun. A lot of new mastery points being handed out by this, because there's 7 new weapons that are just like normal stuff from that you can get, just normal weapons. And on top of that, they're also adding the infested kit guns for more mastery points, and a second Necromech for even more mastery points. So this is probably just going to push things over the edge to where it won't just be founders anymore who are going to be able to reach rank 30. With this update, with all of this new stuff, I'm going to say that pretty much everyone is going to be able to reach rank 30. But now, on to the thing that everyone came to this video for. The buffs.
What do you notice about me in this chroma situation, chat? That's the question. Elements. That's right. As we were doing some Warframe revisions, one of the changes coming for chroma is that you will now be able to swap your elements mid-mission. So if you want to be, electric-based with all your casts, go ahead and swap to electric. If you want to try Toxin, go ahead. So, for example, I'm heat now, and now I want my Spectral Scream to be heat-based. There you go. If I want my Vex Armor to be cold, there you go. So you can now swap through them, so you can have like a rotation here. And we also have buffed Spectral Scream as well. It's actually a bit easier to show, but basically what's happening with Spectral Scream is it now has 100% status chance, and it has some light chaining similar to how you could imagine Volt's Shock. So Volt's Shock, if you hit an enemy in range, it'll chain out. We're gonna let Spectral Scream's 100% status element chain out to enemies outside of the original range. So it has a much broader range now. It chains with, enemies in clusters, and it has 100% status chance. So you can really push different elements out there. So you can switch between all the 4 elements, and in addition, you can coat enemies in elemental status effects depending on what your goal is.
Sorry, you said coat enemies in your own elemental status effect?
Is there something wrong with that, Mr. Sinclair?
It's fine, it's fine.
Phrasing?
Makes sense. It is what it is.
All right. So I just as we were showing there, Chroma is going to have those changes coming. And in so far that, there's many Warframes in the game these days, we should take a look at just talking about some other Warframes that are going to get a little bit of a touch up, perhaps with the Deimos Arcana update. So here I just have put a little group photo, a little
Did
classroom.
you make the screen?
Of course I did. It's my little classroom photo of all my friends.
Oh my god.
Why are you
It's like
laughing?
It's like a green screen.
They're all hanging out together, being so
They're
happy.
just hanging, you're right.
Yeah, they're hanging. Don't laugh. It was the best I could do in the hour I had.
Did you even mess with the scales a little bit, didn't you?
Chroma's tiny in the back. He's hiding. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the little tweaks that are coming just for these Warframes. So, as you know, for Chroma, you'll have in-mission cycling for abilities plus Spectral Scream. It wasn't an hour. And then, yeah. So for Ash, we're touching Bladestorm. And what we're doing there is we're going to take away the 3 overlay design for Bladestorm so that now it'll just auto go to 3 more for your Bladestorm killing. So getting rid of the 1, 2, 3 stack, it'll just be an auto 3. So that as you're kind of scanning the room as Ash, you can just let off your Bladestorms. For Zephyr, we are touching Airburst and Tornado. Airburst is going to be receiving damage increases per target hit, so depending on how many you can cluster together. And when target's health is under a threshold, so 30%, they're going to be open for Parazon finishers, so you can jump in and out of Parazon finishing, depending on how much health the enemies have remaining. And for Tornado, we are going to have it be just a bit more sticky for holding enemies, and we're going to have 2 cast abilities for Tornado. You can either tap to make a stationary group of tornadoes, or hold to make the moving, roaming tornadoes. So you can kind of control the type of tornado your Zephyr is going to cast. For Atlas, just a little tweak to Bulwark. It's going to do AoE slash damage to enemies that damage it. So right now, enemies will go through your Bulwarks and not take any shrapnel damage, but we're going to add shrapnel damage to Bulwark for Atlas. For Necros, Soul Punch is going to now instantly kill enemies below 25% health and turn them into an extra clone, or heal existing if you're full. So you can now use Soul Punch to do some lethality with under 25%, and then again, either add to your army of shadows or heal them depending on which is priority. And then we have Nidus, which is just a teeny tiny change, but enemies held in larva, if they're killed in larva, will now have a % chance to generate a stack, because one thing we've seen with Nidus players is you throw out your larva, your squad kills them all before you can build your stacks. So now we're just going to have the stack have a % chance to give you one if they die in larva. So that's just like a team synergy style thing. So is that about everything, Scott?
Yeah.
Where's all the nerfs? I was expecting nerfs.
We're not talking about those.
This is
Those are surprises.
yeah.
Those sound good. That all sounds really cool.
No.
Yes. So those are just some little touch-ups we're doing based on a number of things, more or less.
Yeah, we're going to go through kind of all of the frames, not all at once, but kind of give everyone a little touch-up versus laser focusing on just one. Just kind of go do a general pass over everything and try to do a quality of life.
Nice.
So we're doing it chunk by chunk. That's essentially batch number 1. And what we basically plan to do is give a dev workshop with the details per batch, and then as they go out, release, we'll just continue the cycle. So how long it will take depends. We have, the holidays are, there's a lot of Warframes, but we will certainly be doing that in the near future. And
and it's all mostly focused on buffing stuff. It's not nerfing stuff. We joke about nerfing, and everyone gives me shit on Twitter for doing it. But it is mostly focused on buffing stuff to bring everything up to a level of power.
And is every nerf your responsibility, Scott? Do you
Directly.
Conceive of and implement every nerf?
Personally, I have like a big red rubber nerf stamp that I just. That's all I do.
It's true. That's how game development works, and I know that for sure.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
All right, so these are the first 6 Warframes that are being given some buffs and tweaks. It's Nidus, Necros, Atlas, Zephyr, Ash, and Chroma. A couple of interesting ones. It's interesting that like one of them is Nidus, obviously, because Nidus is already considered a very powerful Warframe. But for him, it's more of like a convenience, sort of a quality of life thing, to make him work better in group play. So that you don't feel like you're forced to run like solo to be efficient with a Nidus. The other 5, I would say, are like Warframes that are, the community is pretty much in consensus about the fact that they need buffs. Some notable absences that are probably going to be touched on in later updates, obviously like Loki and Nyx. Nyx is pretty strong as it is in Steel Path, but just for normal play, she lacks a bit of functionality. So we'll see. But all of these are like pretty good changes. I love the change to Soul Punch for Necros. They actually, it's a small little tweak, but it kind of makes sense for his gameplay, and it just turns Soul Punch into a usable ability. So now if you're gonna run Helminth with Necros, I don't think Soul Punch is gonna be the ability you replace anymore. I think now it's probably gonna be Terrify that you're gonna replace with something else, because I think now you kind of want Soul Punch in your arsenal. And the chroma changes, they show them up. They show them off a bit more in depth. They look very interesting. Being able to cycle through his ability, so it's no longer going to be tied to his emissive color, is probably really good, really neat. I like that. It gives him a lot more functionality than he had before, or at least a lot more versatility than he had before. The other changes for Ash and Atlas and Zephyr, it's hard to sort of like gauge in advance like how impactful they're going to be. I will take a wait and see approach on those to just sort of find out how strong that's going to be in practice. I don't know. Is it going to turn them into like S-tier Warframes with these changes? I don't know. We'll see. But hey, it's a step. It's a step.
Well, we have some augments, which I'm just pulling up for you now. So basically, we have 4 augments coming with this update as well. The first is, if you are a Wisp player that loves sniper rifles, you will very clearly see why this augment is for you. It's for Breach Surge. It's a Breach Surge augment. Teleporting to a reservoir costs 50% the energy and grants 10% chance to sniper rifles per meter traveled for 9 seconds with a maximum of 350%. So when I was doing the Sarlacc video that I saw someone in chat call it, I was using Wisp with a sniper rifle. And if you can imagine, you're a Wisp player, you love snipers, you can basically just pop around the map as you teleport to your reservoirs. You can build that crit, and then you can just start popping heads with any sniper of your choice. So it's very, very exciting. For Wisp fans. We then have, actually I should rank this up. We have Thrall Pact for Revenant, which is an enthrall augment. Gain plus 10% primary weapon damage for each active thrall. So if you're building up your thralls, you're getting the contagion throughout them just to keep building more and more thralls up to your max. You will be able to have more primary weapon damage as your augments, as your thralls, are reborn. So you'll be able to buff your primary weapon with that. Then we have Mock Crash, which I now see that our heads are covering. So let's take a look at it in a bigger screen up here. Mock Crash is a Mock Rush augment for Goss. Impact Shockwave leaves behind a vacuum that sucks in enemies within 8 meters. So it's very, very exciting. If you want to run into walls and then create a vortex there, it's very fun to play with. So this is coming as well for Goss fans. And then last but not least, we have a Garuda augment, which is for Seeking Talons. It's a Seeking Talons augment. Tap to perform let's rank that up and take a look. A 7-meter AoE around Garuda. So there's a tap mechanic here, or if you're on controller, also tap. Garuda's Talons gain 100% additional combo chance when hitting targets affected by a bleed status. So if you can imagine, you bust out the Seeking Talons, they bleed proc everyone around you, and then you can just go in with your Talons and get your crit going up and up.
So among these new augments, I'm going to say that the one for Wisp, I'm not that super hot about it, but I don't know, I'm not spec'd for sniper rifles as it is. And Revenant one, maybe, I don't know, Revenant players can tell if this feels cool or not, but I feel like you're not gonna keep your thralls alive for that long, and most importantly, if you're running like the Revenant sort of Thrall build, I don't think a primary weapon is where your damage is coming from anyway, so I'm not sure how impactful this is going to be. More interesting are obviously the augments for Gauss and for Garuda. Gauss, this one was leaked like a day in advance or something, that you can run into walls with Mach Rush and create like a vortex, so you can like group enemies and suck them in. That's obviously any ability that's used for grouping is useful. It's always going to be useful. Look at just Larva, for example. So Gauss having an ability to just let him group enemies together, is that going to be good? Yes, that's going to be good. That's going to give Mach Rush way more functionality in normal missions than it already has, because currently you can pretty much only sort of use it efficiently in open worlds, because in normal missions the corridors are too tight, you're just going to ram into walls all the time. But with this augment, that's something you're going to want to be doing, so that's probably pretty good. The Garuda one seems really cool. I'm going to recommend people watch my video for Helminth augments with the Banish Garuda. This seems tailor-made for that. In my build guide for that video, I replaced the number 4 ability, but that's probably not what you're going to do if you have this augment, right? It seems like you're going to be able to build up your combo really, really fast, which I like. It gives a big buff to exalted weapons, since they can't use the Acolyte mods. I mean, you can equip them on Garuda, but they don't do anything. So it's a bug. So just being able to quickly build combo. Does that mean you can do like a heavy attack build with Garuda's talons now? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you can do that or not. We'll find out. But it seems like you're going to be able to build combo very quickly with this augment, which is probably going to be useful.
I think at TennoCon we've been showing this. People have been eager to know more about the Gara Deluxe skin. So this is the Gara Kaleido skin. What do you think of the colors, Jeff? It's your approval I seek at this point.
Yeah, you got a lot on there.
A lot of colors? Excuse me? I think it looks amazing.
The skin looks great.
All right, let's try that again. Let's do some.
How's it look in defaults? How's it look in defaults?
There you go. Got some blues and pinks. People in chat seem to like it, so I have nothing.
The skin? That's cool.
Yeah. Well, needless to say, the Gara Kaleido collection will be coming with a Syandana and with a single sword skin. Oh my god, it's like in its
beautiful.
It is very great.
Like,
it's a bit Nabrous, isn't it?
The glass shards?
Yeah.
Are they would they have been the same glass used in that, you think?
It's a bit Nabrous looking, yes.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Anyway, it is so incredible.
Good job, Jeremy. It looks great.
Yeah, it looks like
super cool.
Yeah. I was actually, this is just a pitch, like pretending that we're not streaming right now, but like, do you think she could be our new poster girl with this skin? Could you imagine if you have like Warframe art and it's Gara Deluxe and her beautiful glass wings? Can Excalibur
Don't air the dirty laundry right here.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, she looks amazing. And
I had some worries when they first showed off this concept art for this Gara Deluxe skin. Seeing it in practice, it looks fantastic. It looks absolutely fantastic. It's such an upgrade from Gara's normal skin. I am most likely purchasing this like immediately when it comes out. I think Gara's a really fun Warframe. I love playing Gara. But I think she looks a bit goofy the way she is in her normal form. So this is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. It looks sexy as all hell. I'm buying that. I love it.
all right, so last dev stream we talked a little bit about, we are working on Corpus Queenpins, and we talked a little bit about the thematic, nature of these new enemies for Warframe players. We've had a couple weeks since that dev stream, just over 3 weeks, and now a lot of work has gone into them since then, and we're going to talk about two things today. First is, as we're moving forward with Corpus Queenpin, what learnings can we apply to actually improve the Kuva Lich experience? And then we can talk a little bit more about their identity with a brand new weapon class coming with them. So let's start off with Liches overall. So the Kuva Lich, as you know, essentially 2 broader changes are coming to Kuva Liches for the experience that you'll be having with them. So the first are some general matchmaking improvements, because what tends to happen is, same with Steel Path, you're out on your own, you're not always playing with other people. So we are going to try doing region-based matchmaking for Liches, so that you can, hopefully matchmake with other Tenno to make the fights a little more collaborative. And then the second is we're experimenting with the boss fight in Railjack as a new finale flow, so that you can do your highly anticipated takedown, your Captain Lich, more or less. When it comes to Corpus Liches, what you know so far in chat might be that Parvos Granum is related to them. These are essentially like a female suite of executives, more or less. And if you had to ask yourself, what does an executive use as a weapon, Jeff, what would you say?
Briefcase.
Interesting. Chat, do you agree that...
This is like home shopping that we're doing.
So when it comes to briefcases, would it not be cool, Jeff and team, if we had briefcase class of weapons that turned into guns?
It would be very cool.
Yes, I think it would. So
Suggested it.
Do you have the other image?
I do. I have. If you want to see some particles in motion here, I hope Twitch compression doesn't nuke this, but yeah, you can see some particle energy flowing through the very briefcase. Yeah.
So this is the rifle. There's a pistol that's being worked on by Lucas right now. That will probably be pistol and akimbo use. And I think a big melee weapon as well.
Yeah, so the new weapon class is coming with the Corpus Queenpins, and it's going to be tied into this Parvos Granum and Corpus Railjack and all of that in one pretty huge update. So that'll be something we talk about down the road, but that's just to give you guys some compartmentalizing for what's coming in Warframe. So
I saw an avid Lich hunter talking about some of the issues of getting your Lich to attack when you want and that sort of thing. These are other parts to the package that we want to improve for all of them, right?
Absolutely. We have a really big list collated of basically all of those things. The 2 we brought today were just the most broad, but the specifics are getting nailed down, and you can expect, as part of this Corpus Railjack Lich update, to really refine the existing Lich as well, more so than we've already done this year. So you may recall we did like a Kuva Lich revisit. You can expect even more of that thinking applied to this release of not only the sister system with Corpuses, but also to the Kuva Liches outright. And more Railjack content, so it's all coming. But as you know, we plan our updates in the near future, which is, of course, Deimos Arcana, and then far future, which is our return to space with Railjack.
See, people, they haven't forgotten. They haven't forgotten about Kuva Liches. So obviously, like, they're working on the Corpus version now, the Corpus Queenpins. So it makes sense that they're gonna, like, look at Kuva Liches as well and do some tune-ups while they're working on a new Lich system anyway. So it seems like now they're gonna do it to where they're gonna add the Lich boss fight. When you're finally gonna take him down, when you have all of the Parazon mods in the right order and it's time to go kill your Lich, now they're gonna put that in Railjack. There's gonna be like a Railjack mini boss thing with like an event. Alright, that's cool. That's a cool addition to just make the Lich hunting experience a bit more memorable. And apparently, like, from day one, a lot of the Corpus Queenpin things are going to have this integrated, like, as it launches. Because just based on what they learned from the Kuva Lich system and what worked and what didn't. That's cool. Also, have you people seen the movie Desperado, right? With Antonio Banderas from back in the day? Granted, those are guitar cases, sure. But suitcase guns... That's hot. That is the coolest idea they've ever had. That alone is gonna make this system work. It's suitcase guns. Jesus Christ, people. It's the coolest. It's the coolest. How can you not like it? You have to like it.